folks. Full disclosure. Last 3 videos you saw me in, I was wearing this sweater. It is not because I keep wearing the same article of clothing day in, day out, although that very well could be the case, and I could be lying and you'd never know. It is the fact that I've just been doing a marathon of videos, and the only difference between those 3 lectures and this lecture is the time, which is now almost 11 o'clock at night, and the fact that I realized I played with my hair too much in the other videos, and it was annoying me. And if it's annoying me, then perhaps it's annoying you if you actually watch the videos. So I said this to say what? We are moving on to our next chapter. Our next chapter is our chapter on personality. We finally get to revisit the dude that we've been dancing around all semester long, the man, the myth, the legend, Sigmund Freud. Lecture-wise, he's the only individual that we're going to focus on. Your homework, you have an introduction to a little bit about Bandura, I think. Bandura? No, not Bandura. Oh my God. No, Bandura was behaviorism. Hierarchy of needs. That's horrible. It's escaping me. Oh my gosh. Maslow. Oh, it's 11 o'clock at night. I've been lecturing for a long time. And long story. All right. So we're going to talk about Freud. I'll break it down into a couple of individual sessions, just like we did for the last one, because I know you don't want to sit here and hear me talk for 20 minutes. So Freud, interesting dude, as many people who are ardent followers as there are devoted opponents of Freud. He was controversial, obviously, as you all well know, please. He was not the father of psychology, although if you ask the average person on the street what they know about psychology, they're probably going to know the name Freud. Not the father of psychology. That was who? Wilhelm Wundt. Very good. Better know that. Freud was really good at taking other people's ideas, concepts, beliefs, putting his own twist on them and tying them together and packaging them with a nice big shiny ribbon of sex. Freud understood something in the 1800s, Victorian Europe, that still holds true today, and that is that sex sells. And the reason that Freud has gotten as much attention as he has, aside from the wacky things that he said, is because he talked about sex, and people didn't want to talk about it, but they did want to talk about it. It was taboo back then. It was taboo, still kind of taboo today. Okay, so what Freud essentially believed is that our personality is essentially fully formed by the age of 5 or 6, somewhere in there. So if you've ever heard that suggestion before, it's just that. It's a suggestion. It's not a fact, and it comes from Freud's psychosexual stages of development, which we'll talk about in a second. Freud also believed that if you were messed up. So if you had mental illness, if you had addiction, if you had like daddy issues or mommy issues, if there was something wrong with you, you could directly trace that back to something that your mother, and yes, I am saying mother, not because I think it's your mom, but Freud did. You can trace that directly back to something that your mother did or did not do to you, with you, or for you during the first 5 years of life. Mom messed you up, and that's why you're messed up today. According to Freud. Again, clearly not according to me. Freud was, keep in mind, Freud was an individual who was a very staunch proponent, meaning in favor of, the medicinal and recreational usage of the drug cocaine. Cocaine was a drug which at the time in the late 1800s, early 1900s was a legal drug. I don't know when it became illegal, but at the time it was legal. And it was used in medical procedures and used recreationally. You can go to your pharmacist and get cocaine if you have like a toothache or whatever. Apparently it cures a lot. Makes you feel better, I guess. Makes you feel pretty good. Never did it, wouldn't know. But Freud did. And even at a time when most people started realizing that maybe the benefits and the good sides to cocaine were kind of outweighed by the drawbacks and the bad sides to cocaine, and kind of like took a step back from using cocaine like recreationally, or just like, I've got a headache, let me snort some coke. Freud didn't. Freud was a frequent user of cocaine. He was also somebody who had chronic ailments and headaches and uh, throat problems, and he was a very anxious, nervous, neurotic, which is where we get, actually he coined the term neurotic. He was a neurotic person. He was also someone who had a very, keep this in mind, bank this, because it'll make sense later. He was somebody who had a very close relationship with his own mother. His mother, he was the firstborn. His mother was a lot younger than his father. His mother was the second wife of his father. And his father was, well, if his mother was a lot younger, then obviously his father was a lot older than his mother. Freud believed his father to be very distant, cold, aloof, did not have a very close relationship with his own father, had a very close, very, very close relationship with his own mother. Again, context, bank it, it'll make sense a little bit later. So sometimes I get asked the question, like, why do you even bother talking about Freud? Like, it's 2020. Nothing that he said is based on science, and you claim to be all about science and logic and reasoning. Well, really, most of the theorists that we've talked about so far didn't base their theories on science or logic or reasoning. Like, Skinner did research on his kid, kept his kid in like an air crib. Piaget got most of his research off of watching his kids interact. So yeah, Freud didn't do experiments. This was all of his theories were based on his own thoughts, stealing other people's thoughts or stealing other people's ideas. And the interactions that he had with his patients, who were like a small group of super wealthy European, so white, socialite women, hardly representative of a cross-cultural swath of individuals. So why the heck do we talk about him? Why do I talk about him, right? It's impossible not to. You can't lecture on psychology, at least intro to psychology, and not talk about Freud. And Freud and Freud's fingers are kind of in the pots of humanity. I don't know. That doesn't. Felt like that was going somewhere else with that, but it didn't wind up where I wanted it to wind up. But Freud's really anywhere. Freud's everywhere. You know, if you talk about something like denial, like if I say denial to you, oh, you're in denial. Stop. You don't want to hear it. You're in denial. Well, everybody knows what that means, right? Like, you don't have to take a psychology class to know what denial is. But denial is Freudian. Like, Freud came up with the concept of denial. It's a defense mechanism. It's something that we're going to learn about in this class. You know, you can watch TV shows where they talk about Freud and the id, the ego, the superego. You know, you've heard of the term id before. You've heard of the term ego. That's all Freudian. So he had a long-lasting impact on our society. So it's impossible not to talk about him. Yes, a lot of what he talked about was wacky. It's awkward. It's icky. It's uncomfortable. Some of my students are still high school students. So like, you guys are underage. So I feel kind of awkward and icky and uncomfortable talking about some of these concepts that Freud had with you guys. But you can't not talk about it because it's Freud. So we have to go there and we have to kind of just say these things. So that's my intro to Freud. And I feel like he deserves the greatest intro. Oh, wait. I'll give you